Hey you. Yeah, you. You didn't stumble here by chance. So let's talk. My name is Tyanne, but a lot of people call me Taj. And I'm most known for my loud New York personality. Brooklyn, to be specific. And my unfiltered opinions. And most recently, for being your favorite homegirl. Yeah, because I'm a realtor too. Don't forget that. And the Melanated Mindset is a safe space for unpopular opinions and heated debates amongst the diverse melting pot of those of us that identify as a melanated millennial. Now, I can't speak for y'all, but after seeing what being an adult is really about, nah, I got some things to say. And I know y'all do too. So let's talk about it, because what's really going on?
What is up, y'all? Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're not to the Melanated Mindset. We have made it, y'all, to not only another Melanated Monday, but to the season 5 season finale. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like this season went by mad fast. And I know the episodes come every week, but for some reason, this one just feels like it went by super, super fast. Before I get into the episode, I just want to thank you guys so much for sharing space with me today, because you could be anywhere doing anything, but you chose to be right here with me again. And I am so grateful to have you. I don't know. I just feel like this season has been so transformative for me. And I hope that you guys can feel that, because my intention is always to bring how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling to the pod, so that you guys know that if you just so happen to be feeling the same way, going through the same thing, you know that you are not alone. And I feel like during the off season, before this season started, I spent a lot of time doing a lot of soul searching and just checking in with myself. I feel like it's time that I check in with y'all. Last week, you guys heard me just clear some mental space. And I asked y'all, when was the last time you cleared some mental space? And I'm sure that from last week to this one, some of y'all still haven't made the time to do so. So you know what? Today is that day. Y'all let me clear up some space. And now this week, I am going to let you clear up some space. So with that, can I ask you, why don't you think you can do it? But before we dive into all of that and we start digging a little too deep, y'all know your girl is never going to miss an opportunity for a shameless plug. So if you are an OG part of the tribe, or if you would like to be, because I would love to have you, do me a favor, follow me on all socials to keep up with me in real time at Tyanne Watson on all platforms. And of course, make sure you guys visit my website, TyanneWatson.com, to see what I've been working on. And if you ever come across the pod and you're new to the tribe and you have no idea how to spell my name, it's always in the description of the podcast episodes, no matter what platform you're listening on. Now, on to our complaints and highlights of the week. Unlike last week, I got a little something, y'all. I got a little something. My complaint of the week, because it's Monday, of course, we got something to complain about. And for me, my complaint is that over these last few weeks, and honestly in the off season, I've said it before, but I'm going to reiterate that I have just become painfully self-aware. And I think that doing that deep soul searching, that deep diving, really allowed me to get to know me on a level that I never have before. And I think a lot of us don't ever go that deep. We tend to stay on the surface because we're afraid of what we might find out about ourselves once we get to digging. But I've had nothing but time, and I am committed, so committed to becoming this version of myself that I see in my head. So I was going to make sure that I did the hard work. And in doing so, it helped me to realize just how much I was playing with my own potential. And I think these last few weeks specifically have shown me that I was playing with myself. Like, I was thinking small when I need to be thinking big. Like, for real. And that's the complaint for me, because it's like, had I realized these things sooner, I probably could be further in my journey. But at the same time, I know that everything happens in divine timing when it's supposed to happen. But when you really sit back and do that work and realize, yo, it was me. It was me. I am the reason I'm not a little bit further. I was playing with my own potential. And that gotta stop. And that did stop. But the last week has definitely made me realize that. Now, on to my highlight of the week, because we don't just have something to complain about. We kind of got something, to toot our own horn about. And I actually have two highlights of the week. Look at that. One complaint, two highlights. We love to hear it, okay? We love to hear it. My first highlight is that 3 days ago, y'all, we locked Xavion's hair. And if you're new here, you don't know who Xavion is, that is my husband and I's almost 4-year-old son. Oh my God, y'all. I cannot believe he's about to be 4. If you have been here since season 1, episode 1, y'all, I was in the trenches of postpartum when I recorded season 1. I'm talking he was not even a year yet. And to know that in a couple of months, 3 months, he will be 4 years old is insane. But that also reminds me that the pod, our birthday is coming up, y'all. And we might have to do something a little bit special. And I know y'all probably get real nervous on season finales, because it's like, girl, when are you coming back? This time, the goal is to be back for our anniversary so that we can celebrate years of showing up, of showing out, of growing and evolving together, because we have done that together over these past few years. So don't worry, I promise this break ain't gonna be that long. I get the feeling I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about in the off season. But that was a complete tangent. We locked his hair, y'all, and it is kind of like a full circle moment, because Malik and I used to get into these heated arguments. When I say heated, I'm talking going to bed without talking. Heated arguments before we even had him. Back when we lived in Hawaii, where we would have these debates on like parenting and how we would parent. And he was always like, I want my son to have hair. Like, I don't want to cut his hair until he decides he want to cut his hair. Now, Malik was biased because Malik had locks from birth up until like middle school, which is why he's always wanted me to lock my hair. So when I finally locked my hair a year ago, he was ecstatic. He absolutely loves them. And honestly, I don't know what I would do if it wasn't for how much like he encourages this journey. He loves this journey for me. Because y'all, that transition phase, I'm not gonna call it the ugly phase, but that transition phase could really have you feeling some type of way when you look in the mirror and don't like what you see. But having A man that just is like, you are gorgeous. Your crown is beautiful. Your hair is doing what it was made to do. Like, it has really eased, kind of like the mental blow. But for that reason, he has always wanted our son, if we had one, this is before we had one, like, I want my son to have hair. Like, I would love to lock his hair. And I would be so hell-bent, like, no, I do not want my son to have hair. When I'm real old school West Indian, like, once he starts talking, we could cut his hair. After that, he's just getting haircuts. If he decides he want to grow hair later, then that's fine. And my justification for that was because I was raised, like I said, really West Indian, where unless you had locks, men with hair were seen as, like, not seen as unprofessional, but it was almost like, well, you're not going to be able to get no good job showing up with cornrows, like, And I seen that. Like, none of the men in my life growing up had hair at all. Like, to this day, my father still gets his haircut religiously once a week and has been for the past almost 29 years since he started his job. Like, I just didn't grow up around men with hair. And all of their justification was always like, they want to look clean cut, at their jobs. So I felt like I didn't want my child to grow up attached to his hair just for him to have to cut it to join the workforce. And like, y'all, I was serious. I meant it. We would get into heated arguments about it. And now here we are. And it's the one thing about them tables, child. They gonna turn. But now that I have kind of decolonized my mind and started working for myself, I realized that I, nor my child or future children, have to conform to Western society beliefs. Like, that's not my culture. That is a culture that was forced upon me. That is a opinion that was forced upon me subconsciously. And now that I don't work for anybody and I can do whatever the hell I want with my hair, and the life that I'm working towards having for myself and my family, ain't nobody gonna be able to tell my son shit. Like, who's to say that after watching me become an entrepreneur, he might not decide he want to work for himself? And if he work for himself, he can do whatever the hell he want with his hair. And if you are a mama, or if you know any moms up close and personal, that baby phase, when them babies ain't got no hair in the back or on the sides, my baby's hair has come a long way, okay? And I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and healthy and even before we locked it up, and it is. And I am so proud because I started his locks. So it was just super special, super personal, and he can't stop looking in the mirror. He can't stop saying, "Mommy, I like my hairstyle." And he's just shaking his little 2-strand twist, and it just warms my heart because, now we're on this journey together. And yes, Malik Ass is jealous, but his time gonna come. His time gonna come. My other highlight is going to be, y'all, yesterday I got that email. That email that says I am officially eligible to apply to the YouTube Partnership Program. And if you don't know what that means, it means your girl is about to be monetized on YouTube. Last week, I told y'all I was well on my way. And here I am, 7 days later. Y'all, I told y'all just last week how hard I was working for this. How hard I was working to get back to this. Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and listen to last week's episode because I gave a little context and backstory. But I did it, y'all. I did it. I did it with no help. I did it with no editor, no outsourcing, no nothing. I did that as a one-woman show during Black History Month. So you could only imagine how I'm feeling. Words can't even describe how I'm feeling. The only word that I could even muster up the courage to say is just grateful. I am so, so grateful. I'm so grateful that I did not give up on the process or on myself. I'm so grateful that I had a vision and I told myself I'm going to get there. I'm so grateful that I believed in myself. I'm so grateful that I didn't compare myself or my journey to anybody else's. I am so, so grateful. That's really, I'm so grateful, y'all. I'm so, so grateful. But if you are not subscribed to me on YouTube, I'm feeling some type of way, okay? Okay? Because y'all have listened to me say for months how I have been trying to monetize my platforms to turn this passion, aka my purpose, into a steady stream of income. And this is the first step to doing that. And I'm so, so fucking proud of myself. Oh my God. Ugh, y'all. Now, normally this is where our Fendi fact would be. Now, don't got one, y'all. I don't got one. I told y'all we here to help y'all clear some mental space. And no Fendi, but I'm gonna be spitting facts today. Okay? But before I jump into the flow, if you enjoy the podcast, if it has helped you in any way, if you've learned anything, please do me a favor and rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or even YouTube. It helps me out so much by letting the algorithm know that people need to hear what I have to say. And it doesn't cost you anything but a couple moments of your time because time is money. And you never know. Your review just might end up on my website as a featured review. Let's get flowing, y'all. So, we back where we started. So I'm going to ask you again. Why don't you think you can do it? Whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. That thing that you want to do so, so bad. That thing that keeps you up at night. That thing that you dream about every chance you get. That thing that you know could change your life. Why don't you think you can do it? What's stopping you? Have you taken the time to map out realistic ways to get from here, in this moment, right now with me, to there? How bad do you want it? Are you ready to face the hard fact that you might not want it bad enough? Have you figured out what's your why? Why do you want it? Do you need help getting it? Hell, do you even want help? If you do, where do you find the help? Is your environment conducive of you receiving it right now? And I asked that one because I saw a quote that says sometimes God's not right now is really a not with them around. So are there people in the way of you getting it? Are the people around you in a position to help you or hurt you? And I promise these questions, this episode, is not to read you or to make you feel like you're not doing enough. This episode is your sister reminding you to stop being scared to do too much. You want it, right? So prove to yourself that you are willing to do whatever it takes to get it. Stop being scared of your own potential. My mom used to tell me all the time, nothing beats a failure than someone that doesn't try. Think about that quote every time you find yourself scared to bet on yourself. Nothing beats a failure than someone that doesn't try. Meaning, if you are scared of failing, you're not trying. not trying is worse than failing. I'm sure we all heard about Thomas Edison when he created the light bulb and how it took him hundreds, maybe even thousands of tries to get it right. And when they asked him, like, are you mad that it took you so long to finally figure it out? And he said, no, I just learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So you can't be scared of failing. What you should be scared of is not trying, because failure just means you got to take a different path. But at least you got in the car. And trying doesn't mean that you're going to succeed. Sometimes you're going to get tripped up, get knocked down. But you know what I'm going to say, right? So I don't even got to say it, right? Okay. And once you get over all those hurdles, spoiler alert, you have to keep going. That's the part that they don't tell you. Once you could see the finish line, once that thing is at the tip of your fingers, shit gets scary. You're going to start to second guess yourself. You're going to start to think that you're not worthy. Then you're either going to give up and go back, eventually wishing that you were here, where you are right now, or you're going to close your eyes and run full speed ahead. My YouTube journey has taught me that the path to success is no different than a GPS. If you stop or give up, that doesn't change the destination. That just adds time. And we learned earlier this season that time is a currency we cannot afford to waste. What you're looking for, that thing that you want to achieve so bad, that thing that burns a hole in your soul, is right on the outside of your limiting beliefs. Those beliefs that you can't do it. Those beliefs that you're not smart enough to do it. Those beliefs that you don't have enough money to do it. Those beliefs that you're not in the right environment to do it. All of the things that you tell yourself to make yourself comfortable with not trying are stopping you from getting it. Because I promise you, once you shift your mindset and stop telling yourself what you can't do, what you won't do, is when you're going to realize what you can do and what you will do. The first step to dismantling those beliefs is to understand that most of them stem from lack of representation. Come on, Black History Month. Because, yeah, it all goes back to that. But the reason you don't think that you can do it, maybe it's because you haven't seen it done before. Or maybe no one that looks like you, walks like you, talks like you has done it before. At least not that you've seen, right? But what if I told you that's because you're supposed to be the first? What if I told you that you feel different because you are? Stop running from that and run into that. That difference is what's going to get you there. It's your cheat code and you not using it. Your homegirl, Taj, is telling you from experience. Once you start using your cheat codes, you start playing the game from a different perspective. Once you realize you've had the codes all along, your whole life will change. If you've been a part of the tribe for a while, you have literally heard me do everything I'm telling y'all to do. Because one thing about it, your homegirl is a woman of her word and y'all know that. Hence why I'm telling y'all to do it. Because I promise y'all, it works. It's scary. It's a little delusional. It might get lonely, but it works. I promise, I promise, I promise. When you bet on yourself, you will never lose. I promise, y'all. I promise. And I don't like to make promises, but I promise. You know how to get there. You know how to get it. You just gotta lock in and lock everything and everybody out. Another thing my mom used to tell me growing up was caskets don't come with bunk beds, because none of these people that you are letting get in the way of you getting to that thing are going to be here when it's time to roll the credits. It's just going to be you in there. They can't fit two people in a casket. So don't give those people the power to get in the way of what you were put here to do. Because if it's in your heart, if it's in your soul to do something, there's a reason for that. Whatever God, whatever higher power you believe in, put that on your heart for a reason. I am speaking from experience, because years before I started this podcast, I have been talking about a podcast from Hawaii, y'all. And that's 2015. I've been talking about this. And then one day, in the depths of postpartum, in the middle of a pandemic in Italy, with this baby I had no idea what I would do with, I decided to stop being scared. I decided to bet on myself. I decided that the worst thing that could happen was if I didn't try to see what could happen. And out of that, birthed this 5 seasons later, 3 years later. And I have a tribe of people that understand, that trust my opinion, that I help motivate and inspire. And 3 years ago, that was my biggest dream. It was literally all a dream. And I made that my reality because I decided I didn't know where this path was going to take me, but I was going to put one foot in front of the other and give it all I got. And because of that, I am here today, proud of my accomplishments, proud of how far I've come, how far we've come, and how far I know we still have to go. Because the melanated mindset is going to be a brand like no other. And y'all, the OG tribe members are going to be able to say that you've been here from the beginning. And I want to be able to say the same thing for you. I want to be here from the beginning. I want to see how good it could get for you. If I can change my mindset and essentially my life, I promise you, with time, patience, and conscious effort, you can too. And I cannot wait to hear all about it when you do. And just that fast, y'all. We are in our familiar place one more time. We are at our word of the week. And I told y'all last week, your girl got some new words or whatever. So this week's word is notabilia. And that means things worthy of notice. So take some time today to bring your attention to the notabilia regarding where you are and where you're trying to go. I know the journey between those two seems long. I know you can't see how you're supposed to get from here to there. But trust me, just trust me, you're gonna get there. You just gotta put one foot in front of the other. But don't forget, if you stop, You only add in time. And that's the one thing we don't know how much we have left of. So are you really willing to stop to find out that you don't have enough time? Think about how many people close their eyes in this physical world and never accomplish the things that they always wanted to, the dreams that they always had. Think about how many people lay on their deathbed with regrets. And I'm talking not regrets regarding other people, but regrets about themselves. You don't want to be that person, do you? Because I don't. And I don't want that for you. You can do this. You are doing this. And if no one has told you today, I am so fucking proud of you for even making it this far. Because it's not easy. You've been through some shit. You've been hurt. You've been betrayed. You've wanted to give up so many times. Yet somehow you are still here. So much so that you showed up for yourself today. Because you know that when you turn on the melanated mindset, yeah, Taj is the one doing the talking. And she's the one giving her experience. But you leave here with something. You leaving here with something. At least I hope you do. So when you find the guts to turn this on every Monday, that's you trying to get the tools to get from here to there. So you're doing the work. This episode is just a reminder to keep going. You could have stopped a long time ago. Maybe you did stop. Maybe you did give up. Maybe the car ran out of gas and you're on the side of the highway. So what you gonna do now? You gonna turn back around? You still need fuel and energy to go back where you came from. That same fuel and energy, though, could take you where you was going. So that thing that you love so much, that thing that brings you joy, that thing that makes you feel so alive, if you gave up on it, if you're thinking of giving up on it, I am telling you, don't. You never know how close you are. And yeah, you probably driving through a storm. Shit got real rocky. But you don't know when that storm's going to clear. You don't know if that finish line is going to be there when that storm clears. So promise me and promise yourself that you're not going to stop. Because if you stop, you'll never find out what was waiting for you on the other side. You'll never get to meet the version of you that makes it. So I hope this episode fed your soul in more ways than one. I hope that it helped you clear some space about some things that you've been doing. I hope it reassures you that you're doing what you need to be doing. I hope that it reminded you that there's work to be done. I hope that it reminds you that we all running our own race at our own pace. So if you take anything away from this episode, I want you to take away the fact that I promise if this Afro-Latina from the streets of Brooklyn, New York can change her whole life, there is absolutely no reason that you can't too. And remember, when you feel like giving up, don't. And with that, I catch you in season 6. Cue outro.
And on that note, if you made it this far, thank you for kicking it with me and chopping it up with me. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. The love and the support, it never goes unnoticed or unappreciated. And if you want to join the conversation in real time, make sure that you're following me across all social media platforms at Tyanne Watson. But more specifically, make sure you're following me on Instagram at Tyanne.Watson, because that's where I'll post all of the polls, all of the questions, and conversation starters. That's also where you guys can expect to see sneak peeks and previews into the episodes to come. We on a new season and we on a new level. This gonna be one hell of a ride. I hope y'all are ready. Until then, I'll see you, same time, same place next week for another Melanated Monday. And remember, the goal is to be good and do good. Until next time, peace, y'all.